Hello, everyone. It is that Weems guy here for an episode. And I would like to first off by thanking Tim Reedy for stepping in and guest host duties for last week's episode. Uh, this week's guest host is Shannon Pable. She did not know that until after she was logged in. Uh, so,
Thanks, Lee.
surprise audience, surprise Shannon. I am on the road. I've been up since 4:30 this morning working, and I'm ready to go take a shower and go to bed. So Shannon is going to take over tonight. And this is a topic tonight that I know absolutely nothing about. So I will probably contribute nothing but dumb questions. And so Shannon is going to take the lead. So good night, everybody, from me. And I will enjoy listening to this episode with the rest of you.
Great.
Thanks,
Thanks, Lee.
Lee.
Okay, well, let's first go through and introduce ourselves. Uh, we'll start with Mindy. Mindy K. Ray.
Hi, that's me. I'm Mindy K. Ray, and I'm based out of North Fort Worth, Texas. So obviously, the DFW Metroplex is absolutely huge. So when people say, "Oh, well, I live in Plano or McKinney," we're an hour and a half apart, and so. Anyways, I'm in North Fort Worth, Texas. I own a training company called Triple C Training, and I also lead an Armed Women of America chapter. We will be celebrating our 10th year
Awesome.
in January. So
That's
before
great.
COVID, we had almost 100 ladies on the roster, and then several of them dropped off after COVID, and amongst many emails and texts and phone calls, come back, come back, come back. It's hard to get everybody to come back to the training world, but I love what I do. I love helping women. I teach a great deal of men as well, but obviously being a woman, I bring in the women. So that's what I do.
Yeah, that's awesome. 10 years is great. Thank you for doing that. And I've noticed the same thing as far as memberships dropping off, from COVID. So, yeah, well,
Yeah.
awesome. And Allison Reedy.
Yes, so I'm Allison Reedy. I write under the name Allie Corliss on primerpeak.com. That's kind of the extent of my involvement in the firearms industry. And I have our baby Primer Peak hanging out with me today.
Cute.
So what was your code name? I was going to make sure that I had that spelled correctly.
Oh, it's Allie Corliss. It's just spelled how it sounds.
Ally.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All righty. And I guess I should introduce myself. My, my name is Shannon Pable, and I am a firearms instructor mainly for women, but like Mindy, I also teach men. I teach a lot of one-on-one privates from mainly beginners, but I do also have some advanced students. I occasionally teach classes, again, mainly women, but also some co-ed, some just men. I'm a range master certified instructor, as well as Mindy is too. And I think both she and I carry, we have a collection of instructor certificates. But anyway, so Lee had asked us all to be here tonight, and unbeknownst to me, I had no idea I'd be hosting tonight. So pray for me and all of us that this goes well. Anyway, the topic had come up. Lee had posted a link to Allison's article that she wrote on carrying while being pregnant during the first, second, third, and what we dubbed fourth trimester post-birth, and the trials and tribulations that she had gone through. And then also, I had gallbladder surgery about 6 weeks ago, and so I had to go through some alternative ways of carrying as well, with off body. So I'm going to bring it back to you, Allison, and if you would like to kind of go through the stages of first trimester. Maybe we can discuss that a little bit, and then we can move on to second and then third. How does that sound?
That works.
Great.
Yeah, so the first trimester, there I was both surprised at how much happens and how little actually happens. You know, you start to feel like different and off, but you don't look pregnant to a lot of people, but you're still like at 5 weeks, I started bloating so much that I just stopped carrying appendix, which at the time I wasn't doing a whole lot to begin with. I'm a very big fan of the flashbang, but carrying appendix, like even as early as the first trimester when I wasn't showing, became incredibly uncomfortable just because of bloating. I think that though was like the only real change. I think, you know, you have to be more intentional about wanting to carry, so you're protecting both yourself and your baby. But yeah, there wasn't a whole lot physically that I had to do different at that point.
So when did you switch? So you switched from the flashbang, which was your normal carry from what I'd read, and then you went to appendix, or what was your next move after the flashbang?
I carried in the flashbang pretty much the entire pregnancy. As I got into the second and third trimester, when I had to buy new bras, I started carrying off body a bit more in either a fanny pack or I have a gun tote in mama's purse. And that was more so just the bras that I switched to, the nursing friendly ones weren't as comfortable or conducive for carrying in the flashbang. You know, they didn't have any underwire, which for me felt way less supportive, but I know lots of women who carry in the flashbang without underwire support bras. So I think it's more just personal preference in that area.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So, and then I remember you mentioning the Enigma and what were some other forms that you carried, that you used?
Yeah, so a lot of people will recommend carry methods like the Enigma, or there's Mastermind Tactics has a belt that you're able to set independently from your waistband. And then there's the Comfort Concealment Belt is another belt that you can, you know, move up and down your torso as needed. I kind of tried to steer away from those, especially once you need to wear maternity pants, just because a lot of the maternity pants, you know, will come up with like a panel up over your belly. And you have to, like, you know, stick your hand like into a stronger, more supportive like waistband and travel greater distances down into your pants if you want to try and pull something from appendix, which is when I carry inside the waistband, I'll carry appendix. But yeah, there's a lot of options on the market that you can do that don't require a traditional belt and holster. But from my personal experience, I don't find that a lot of them really lend themselves to carry while pregnant.
Okay. So how about, I know you had mentioned some things when you got to your third trimester, if you want to go into that in a little more detail. Hi there.
Yeah, so in the third trimester, I think at that point I would either carry in the flashbang or I would carry in my purse. And as I got more and more pregnant, I was also, if I was going out with my husband, just letting him conceal carry for us. You know, I trust my husband. He's not going to let anything happen to us. And so that could also be an option. Also, like, as you get more pregnant, you're going to more doctor's appointments, and at least where I live, you can't conceal carry in the hospital, even if you have a permit. So I had some complications later in the pregnancy that, you know, it was hit or miss if I was going to end up in the hospital in triage after my OB appointments. So whenever my doctor's appointments or anything like that was involved, I especially decided to keep my gun locked up at home for its safety and mine.
Did you carry any OC spray or any other items, since you could not carry a firearm in a lot of those cases?
Yeah, I was carrying, we carry palm. So I had that, and you know, as the pregnancy progressed and my ability to flee a potential situation, you know, diminished, you know, having pepper spray ready to go to that, you know, if need, like, just to be quicker with that. Yeah, none of my doctors ever noticed or had an issue with carrying OC spray in, yeah. I didn't carry a flashlight. I didn't go out after dark, so I didn't feel like there was a need for that.
Okay. Yeah, sometimes if I don't have room because of what I'm wearing, we all have lights on our phones too, you know, as a backup. It's not the best, but hey, in a pinch it does work. Mindy K. Ray,
Yes.
is there anything you would like to add to that you've seen? Because I know you said that you worked with a lot of women who are pregnant.
Yeah. So honestly, the number one issue that I face is we've got about half the doctors here that'll say, no, you can't train while you're pregnant. You can't be around, you know, the lead in the air, etc. So half my students disappear until after they have the baby. I actually have a great, I would say maybe 25 ladies that I set up for, you know, at home dry practice in their preferred carry method. Gun toting mamas is always really, really popular. Another popular way that my ladies with, you know, they're getting into that second and third trimester where they're, you know, where we can kind of sit that cereal bowl on top of our belly, so to speak. They love the Zindera Friday bag because of the positioning of it. It's a little bit bigger than a fanny pack. So we all know the girls that carry the Lululemons, right? The Lululemon fanny pack right across here. You know, they tend to set the Zindera Friday bag right on top of the belly. And the way she designed that bag for your hand to go into the back of it, of course, it's got a steel reinforced strap. It's separate pocket with a clamshell trigger guard. And absolutely no sponsorship, nothing whatsoever from the company, but it's a great flex carry option, as Vicki Farnham likes to coin it, flex carry.
Yeah.
So, you know, she even, when she set up her company, she offered like PayPal Pay in 4 because they're pure leather. They smell like a brand new pair of Lucchese boots when they come out of the box. And so it's quality. Even when I carry on body, I still carry my Zindera bag just because of how it lays right there. And it's very natural draw. So all the way up until they deliver. And then after they deliver, they tend to go to some type of a fanny pack because the baby's where the bag was at that point.
Right.
So now after they deliver so that fourth trimester, once they come back to training, basically their baby's leg, you know, I always tell them, you know, bring it over to the strong side because you don't want to have to fight your baby's leg if you have to draw one-handed. And so, yeah. So we love, down here in Texas, we love the Zindera bag, the Friday bag, and then several of the gun toting mama bags work. And that we also love the one that Lena Michalik talks about, the Vertex.
The rose.
So there's the Vertex, that one. Yeah,
I put I put a decal on mine because I
Yeah.
didn't want it to look tactical.
Yeah. So did you know
Yeah,
that Crossbreed's carrying it now with a Kydex trigger, with a Kydex holster?
that's exactly what I have in mind.
Yes.
But when I bought it, and this is a 17 round mag in my pistol with an
Looks like a
optic,
macro.
and I have a extra 17 round mag in the pocket, in the pouch. I actually shot a match, an
Yep.
IDPA match with it, and it worked out great. I think I came in, it was a co-ed match. I came in 5th out of 20.
Fantastic.
It worked great. But yeah, when I bought it, it was, they didn't have the crossbreed holster in it. So I doctored it up because
Yeah.
I had already used the crossbreed holsters. And I'll show some samples of those. I have a bunch of holsters sitting on my den floor right now. But yeah, that is a great holster
Yes. And
or
so,
off body flex carry.
yeah. I thought, like I said, I think, Vicky coined it flex carry, and I love it. I love it because, when I'm wearing my purse across my body, granted, it's not in a holster, it's not appendix carry, but I've actually put ladies under the time, under stress, duress, and time, and they're not far off of an appendix draw. So, like she said, like Allie said, they're protecting themselves, they're protecting their unborn child, they may be protecting other children that are outside of the womb hanging on to mom's coattails. And so, we want the ladies to take it seriously and train as such. And those three carry options are fantastic for, getting you have that tactical advantage where you can actually put your hand on the gun and prep it, without it being seen and without, in our state, being considered brandishing. So you've got that tactical advantage. Like, I already have a good grip on my gun. You just don't know it.
Yeah.
And so that's probably one of my more popular classes is the flex carry class. And
No, that's
those 3 bags are on it. And if anything comes into the class that I'm like, nope, 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 and nope, then we'll set them up with one of our options. So
yeah, I'm thinking that maybe we can give some links to Lee to share when he shares his podcast on the Zendira bag, and the other options, the Rose. But I also have, speaking of purses and the gun-toting mamas.
yeah.
So when I had my surgery, I could not wear appendix. I normally wear appendix.
Mhm.
In fact, I already got this is the way I normally carry, and I'll just stand up here. You all can see that. I got my blue gun in here. So, I'm just like, yeah. So appendix inside the waistband. I'm wearing a Nex belt, which is a
Yep.
ratcheting type system. But when I had gallbladder surgery, I had 4 incisions on my abdomen. So it was very uncomfortable to wear a belt and extremely uncomfortable to wear appendix. And I wanted to keep the area very clean. I didn't want anything getting into those incisions. So I primarily carried off body. And again, or flex carry, as Vicki Barnum says, which Vicki Barnum has a book out on
Yes.
the topic on flex carry. So want to give a shout out to her. But I carried the Rose fanny pack, but I also carry the Gun Tote Mama's sling bag.
Yeah.
And it's kind of funny because this sling bag was it was originally designed so that you'd be cross body or cross your body draw. And I don't like that type of a draw. So basically, I rigged it up so that my holster, since the Velcro in here, it's hard to see, but the Velcro where they have it, it was meant to be for a right-handed draw cross body. So I carry it on my right hip, and I ended up from crossbreed. I got one of their left-handed
Handed
holsters
holster.
to
Yeah.
flip it so I could draw from my right side. But I love this bag. It's great. And just so you know, I just want to mention this, is that if any of the ladies are looking at carrying, you need to get a bag that is meant for carrying a gun. It has a separate compartment for your pistol. It typically will have a separate compartment for a spare magazine. So in other words, you're not going to draw and like pull your lipstick out or whatever. It should be the only thing that's in that pocket is your pistol.
Or God forbid something get caught up in the trigger as you draw. It absolutely can't happen. So
exactly.
It has to go in a separate pocket.
Yeah. And I was going to take out of here. Hear the Velcro thing.
Rip it.
And I've also,
Go on.
I know it's in there, man. It's not.
But
there we go.
That's good quality to have, is with it suction to that Velcro like that. It's such a good quality because your gun stays in place. You never have to worry about it shifting.
So oops, that's right. This is the lefty. So yeah, that gun trigger guard is fully covered with Kydex material. Gun is not going to fall out. So these are all things to check for. So I was, when Crossbreed came out with their modular system, that's what it's from, is it first started with their belly band, and you could get, your Velcro custom made holster for your particular gun, mag carriers, everything else, and have it on your belly band, and everything was, that real tough Velcro. So I was very impressed with that. Very glad that they came out with that, because I immediately, when I buy any sort of carry purse, they usually come with that universal holster, which let me grab one of those just to show you.
Or in the bucket of don't use.
Yeah, in the bucket. Yeah, along with that Uncle Mike's holster. But it's this universal holster, and I'm not a huge fan of it. I mean, granted, it does stay in there pretty well, but I just prefer to have a nice hard Kydex covering my trigger.
Me too.
So I'm going to go out of my way.
The possibility of, in some of those universal holsters, even with even with your finger in high register, it can so easily slide into the holster with it. And, if your finger can go into that holster, what else could go into that holster? It's a recipe. Those universal holsters are just an absolute recipe for disaster.
Yeah. Yeah. So I highly recommend, if anybody does buy any purse of any kind that, is meant for carrying, that's the first thing you should do is, get a custom made holster that is made for your gun.
Let me just throw in there, Shannon, when you say custom made, it's 100% made to your gun, and it's like $48. So when we say custom made, you're looking at maybe a $50 bill for something that could very well save your life. And so, custom, but not it with the price tag that we think might come with custom. It's very affordable. Crossbreed did a really good job of making it affordable.
They did. And don't ever skimp on your holster.
Oh. No, we don't. We don't skimp on life-saving tools.
Yeah.
And all that goes with it. If y'all give me just a second, I will go get my bag so you can see it. I'll be right back.
The Zendira?
Yep.
Okay, cool. Anything you wanted to comment on, Allison, as far as the purse carry?
I would just encourage, if you are not in the regular practice of purse carrying or carrying a fanny pack, to get some training with it. I know Vicki Farnham and the Farnhams have I think it's a purse carry instructor course.
Flex carry.
Okay. Yes.
Yeah. Flex
and
carry
then,
or off body was what they originally called it. And then now they call
okay.
it flex carry. Yeah.
Yeah. And then I know at Revolver Roundup last year, Daryl Bulkey taught a block on, I think it was just an off body carry block. That was very good as well. But you need to get, before you start carrying a new way, like you do need to practice. You do need to learn how to do it safely, because there are different considerations to be made when you're drawing from a purse that is just different from drawing from a gun that's on your person.
Yeah. I would say if you're going to off body carry or flex carry, it actually takes, you need to be extra responsible. I think it definitely takes a lot more dry fire practice to perfect it, because it's real easy to flag yourself, your arm, your body. There's just so much to consider, as well as that purse is a part of you and it should never, ever leave your side. The only time where that purse, if it's not on me, it might be at home. Or if I'm sitting down at a restaurant, it's strapped across my leg. Um, yeah, I'm just super particular if I'm carrying a gun in my purse.
Yeah, so no, long gone would be the days of if we have littles at home that we come in and set the bag down. You can't.
Yeah,
So
don't.
I
Yeah.
tell my students, we have the purse, and wherever the purse goes on the counter, we have our gun safe right there. So if it needs to come out, and then we have it in a quick access gun safe so the children can't get a hold of it. Like they have to almost be bought together.
Yeah. And which gun safes have you been recommending?
I have one from Ruger that I take. I try not to. I try to give them a few options from Amazon, and one of our local gun stores carries I can't remember the brand of it off the top of my head. So we've got one end of the range, one end of the price range, all the way up to your, what do you call that?
Biometric.
Yes.
Yeah. Thumbprint, fingerprint, whatever. Yeah.
That's not what was fixing to come out of my mouth. So yeah. So, we just don't want to keep it too fine motor skill, little bitty locks on it, little bitty things, if they walk in and someone follows right behind them and tries to kick the door in, all of a sudden we lose our fine motor skill. So I try to stay away from tiny locks, tiny combination dials, and tell them, a simple key, a simple 1, 2, 3, 4 big button combination, change your batteries on it. Again, this is, Tom's voice is ringing in my head saying this is life-saving devices. We're not going to skimp on it. But we're going to check it just like you check your smoke detectors. You expect them to go off if your house catches on fire. I expect to be able to open my gun safe at any moment's notice. And so change those batteries if you're worried, well, it's got a battery, it might go down. In Texas, the reason for the biometric, I'm kind of half for it and half not for it, is we actually do have some days where we don't have humidity in the air. So it can be a dry day. And I've actually seen, the guy representative for companies go and put his finger on it, to get it to catch. So that was a little concerning. And so, I just, with every single thing, you're going to have pros and cons. So you just have to pick the best for you. But I did go get it. And so
let me see. Yeah.
It looks like it has a tail hanging out, and I'll explain that in just a moment. But I just want y'all to see, because I don't have a blue gun for my carry gun. So, and this clamshell trigger guard is going to fit this gun perfectly. So just to let y'all see, pinky is in the chamber. We are clear high and we are clear low. And I'm going to leave the slide lock back. But set that down for just a second. So this is the bag itself. It's kind of, if you think about it, it's like a high-end fanny pack, but it's a crossbody. So this is adjustable, and this is probably a year and a half old, and it still smells like a brand new pair of boots. So we have
that smell.
Yeah. I mean, And I say that because if it's that old and it's been out of the box and it's been used so much, it's been in classes, etc., and for it to still have that quality to it, it's just a quality investment piece.
Yeah.
I won't say how many I have. She's got a bunch of colors. So we have a steel
Go with your
reinforced.
shoes.
How many pairs of boots do I have? Okay, I need a purse to match every pair of boots. So we're steel reinforced here, and she actually has two different sizes of a strap that you can order if we're bigger, if we're tiny, you know, so it's very customizable to your body. So we have a big zippered pocket here for sunglasses, wallet, lip gloss, keys, etc. Big old phones. I know most of our phones are big now. None of us want the little phone anymore. We have the big
Can't
one.
read it.
You said it, not me. So we have another smaller, slimmer pocket here for whatever. I don't use that one very much, but that's just me.
Magazine.
Yeah, it could. And so back here in the back, separate, all the way separate. So when you're wearing this, you can't even possibly print because the actual gun is in the back. Okay, so when you have it on, the gun is next to your body. So if you can see the way I've got it set up for my particular build, I'm going to go right in and draw. And we have heavy duty magnets as opposed to a zipper. So anytime we have to rip it zip, it takes a little bit of extra time.
Yes.
So now, how does the bigger one, now she has a bigger one where it comes with the crossbreed custom holster. The smaller one, I don't think she originally planned for the macro to go in the smaller one, but it does. So one of this paracord is anchored at the far corner down here. So there is an anchor clasp that's heavy duty that's down here in this corner. So when I draw, the clamshell trigger guard pops off. Does that make sense? So we set it in like so. Trigger's guarded 100%. It doesn't come off unless when you draw,
really
you have to pop it. So the way I always remember is that the strings come out of the end of the barrel, so to speak. That's how I remember how to put it on. We open it up and it goes right in the back. So with my slide back and my optic on there, it's going to be a little weird, but I'm going to leave my slide back. So this is sticking out just a little bit, but it doesn't that when the slides forward and the gun is down in there. So I could literally be in a dark parking garage and it almost looked like I have my hands in one of those hand warmer things from Russia, you know, but truthfully, yes, I can anchor really good so that I'm not muzzling any part of my body. We always want to be careful. We have a brachial artery right here. So we've got to be careful on that draw and practice. Like you said, like Allie said, we have to dry practice so much with off body carry or flex carry. So, I mean, my fingers in high register, my bag's anchored, my trigger's guarded 100%. Hopefully he goes away after whatever I tell him. Maybe he's, sprayed himself with pepper spray and my pepper spray didn't work. But then when I go to my gun, it's an easy, smooth draw. I love this bag and I get no extra, no nothing. So she's not paying me to say it, but this multiple colors, it sits right on top of my mommy's bellies. They can bring it up a little bit if they need to. But again, that draw is so natural. The only thing I'm doing different from my appendix is I'm this way as opposed to this way, straight down top of it. So,
anyways, and that's kind of what I'm doing with the gun toting mama's purse. Sort of the same thing. But as I draw, I'm going to stick my blue gun in here. Actually, I already took the holster out, but just so you know, I'm going to anchor my hand down here to hold the purse in place as I draw. But yeah, it's very similar as far as where I have it positioned, as far as your Zendura bag. So that's good to know. There's so many options.
Used to, we didn't have as many options. So
Oh yeah. Yeah.
definitely life a little bit easier to be armed. One of the things that I really I will actually work with the mom. I do an in-home lesson, no different than a meet you at the range lesson. They can come to my house, I can go to their house, or we can meet in the classroom at the range, whatever they're more comfortable with. But you know, a dry practice target, a mantis type, or laser strike. I'm a big fan of laser strike. I'm a big fan of the G-Sight laser trainer. So we're clearing the guns. We're putting in the dry practice. I put parameters in place saying dry practice has started, dry practice has ended, but getting them to do those correct draw from whatever they've got it in with someone. And I joke, I'm like, you know, this is the second most dangerous thing we do with a gun, aside from thinking that we're trained when we're not. You've got, if it's in a holster, you've got your femoral arteries, you've got your pelvic girdle to think about. If it's in a bag, you've got brachial arteries to think about. So in my humble opinion, once you start wearing the gun, that's when it gets down to brass tacks, and we really need to make sure that our training is on point. And so I really like to, nope, you muzzled your hand. You can't muzzle your hand. You can't muzzle your body in any way, shape, or form. Can you put your gun in its carry position in the bag without muzzling yourself? And can you get it out safely? And so that's one of the things we go over, and I will just preach it to the choir as much as they'll listen to me sing.
Yeah. Yeah. And exactly what you said. It's so common to muzzle your hand, muzzle your leg, your feet,
Yep.
your torso. Yeah, you have to perfect it with an unloaded gun, or better yet, perfect it with a blue gun.
Yep.
Or use a barrel block.
Yes, if they don't, a blue gun, barrel block, a BLOK is one of the best options that you can possibly use.
I'm making a list here, so
For links.
for link.
Yeah.
Barrel block.
So we have gun tote mamas, we have the rose bag, the Zendira, Zendira. And then on Crossbreed, I was just on there a couple of days ago. On the Crossbreed website, they actually have it doesn't have the decal on it, but it has the bag. Like, I think it's made from Vertex, Vertex, and a holster for your particular that custom holster that you're talking about. And it's under $100.
Okay.
Under for the bag and the holster. It is
Oh, wow.
Yes. On Crossbreed.
Wow, that's
yeah.
No, that's excellent, because yeah, the bags that we're referring to, gun toting mamas, Zendira, they're leather, and they're very well made. So yeah, they're, I will say, considering how well they're made and that they're made of leather, they're reasonable. But yeah, in the grand scheme of things, they are going to be more expensive than just your regular everyday purse, unless you're used to, getting your purse at Michael Kors or wherever. But my daughter used to work there. So.
Yeah. And then, I actually, if you look on Crossbreed, and you absolutely, I mean, I have some ladies that they're just absolutely not willing to not carry that name brand, whichever name brand it is. And so they really do on Crossbreed have some proper purse setups. The only thing that I caution them greatly about is it has to have your stuff has to be on that side. It has to have a separate compartment, and the gun has to be in this compartment by itself. So if it's just an open tote, no blessing.
Yeah.
No blessing.
Yeah, exactly. And yeah, so if you do get that certain name brand purse that, you might be very particular, or maybe it's not a carry purse. Yeah, you want to look for, it has its own gun pouch, and then perhaps a place to put a magazine, a place for pepper spray, et cetera, et cetera. But I've bought rolls of that heavy duty Velcro.
Yep.
That's sticky on one side. So I've rigged up a few things using that. It works
Yeah.
great.
Yeah.
So you can use that and then buy a crossbreed holster from,
Yep.
you know, their modular system.
Yeah. If you just got to have that name brand.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, and then if we think about it, I mean, if we go down that rabbit hole, does that name brand not make you a target because that's that whole purse in itself is worth money, you know?
Exactly.
So the only time that one comes out is when my husband's armed as well and he's beside me. So I mean, I don't even
Yeah.
care. 2 or 3 of them, I don't carry them anymore just because, you know, um, I don't mind carrying in a bag, but we have to think differently about when we carry that way. And so if I'm carrying a Louis Vuitton, they're going to want that. And then if my gun's in it, it's not worth a fight to me. It's not worth fighting over. So I don't carry the bag.
Yeah. And that's a great point to bring up. I don't like to wear anything that might bring attention
Yep.
to me in certain parts of town. I even go as far as I turn my wedding ring around so it just looks like a simple band. I don't want to wear anything flashy. I don't
That's when I wear
want,
this one.
yeah, I do have one of those too, the beautiful plastic
Yeah.
or the rubber ring. Yeah.
Easier to lift in anyway. So
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Exactly. So those are great points, is you don't want anything really flashy that's going to attract attention. And like what I do with my rose bag, I didn't want anything that looked ultra tactical. So I'll stick a pink rose
yeah.
thing on it and that I got from Amazon, just ironed it on and yeah,
Yeah.
done.
On my bag, and I'll have to go get it, but that's the dog walking bag. Because on the outside of that particular bag, I have my pepper spray on a quick release. No, my pepper spray it's not on a quick release. The alarm, all I have to do is pull it. So if I have, you know, those really loud emergency alarms, I know it's probably not going to do me much good, but I have it bring attention. And then I have like, a lanyard that rolls up.
Yeah.
Yeah. So my pepper spray is literally at my strong hand if I need it. And then I would unzip with my left hand. So if the pepper spray is not working, I can actually unzip at the same time. And I actually took the small piece of material that was on that zipper on that bag. I took it off and added like a heavy duty paracord braided keychain. So it was more for me to grab, easier to grab. Again, caveman, you know, someone's trying to hurt me. I can't find motor skill. I know me. So,
yeah, or if it's dark and you just can't see, or, you know, granted, you should be able to feel your way through this because you've practiced so much. But yeah, it's, you know, or if your hands are wet, it's raining and you just have this slippery little, you know, zipper there. And it's just, yeah. I think those are excellent ideas.
yeah,
Allison,
just
anything you want to add to that?
Oh, I was just thinking, you know, being intentional about not choosing like clothing or purses that might potentially make us a target or draw excess attention to ourselves. Being pregnant and having a baby with you is going to draw a lot of extra scrutiny and attention. And people are going to be quicker to approach you. Like, I hate how many times people want to come up to me when I'm at Target and be like, oh my gosh, like you have a baby. I love babies. You know, they grow up so fast. But, you know, that just kind of speaks to the need to maintain our situational awareness.
yeah,
And also just the importance of trying not to, or trying to make sure that however we are carrying is not our firearm isn't going to be exposed when we don't want it to be. Like if you're breastfeeding in public, or if you've got kids like pulling on your shirts and stuff, you don't want to get made when you have little kids around, because everybody's going to be watching you and your kid anyway.
Very good point. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, it reminds me, I was in a restaurant. This was a couple weeks ago, and a gentleman that was sitting in a booth next to our table, he well, it's funny because first he was wearing a ball cap, that had the two guns on the top. So I thought, yeah, he's probably carrying. Well, it was funny. He dropped his wallet on the floor as he was getting out of the booth. And as he bent over, his shirt came out and untucked, and then his gun was completely, visible on his hip. And so I just kind of winked over to him, and I just, motioned to him, check your sidearm. He's like, oh, he says, oh, I dropped my wallet and da da da. And I'm like, yeah, I know, I saw everything.
You
But
flashed me.
thankfully nobody else did. So, might have some people kind of freaking out. But anyway, yeah, I had several. Hey, honey, being so good. So I have a few items that I thought I'd just kind of hold up and show. But since we were talking about the flashbang, you have one sitting here. And do their little symbol here. But yeah, it works like a clamshell. That's what they call it, that clamshell. I think this one is for a 365, but it opens at the bottom, and this is what straps on to your bra. And let me see if I can get this figured out. There we go. So here's my blue gun, my 365 in here. And I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to do it just by holding on to it, but it does work pretty well as far as pulling it out. You have to give it a good, swift pull, but I think it's going to be a little hard for me just holding it.
It's tough.
Yeah, and bringing it out, but it works much better when this is attached to something.
So the concept behind that is, it's tucked up underneath your bra strap. So that's helping hold it in place. And if you
Right
think
here.
your bra straps are over your shoulders, so that's another anchoring point for it. So when you draw, you pull your shirt up and you snap that straight down out of its clamshell.
Yes, and we actually demonstrated that in a ladies holster class we did. It's a little humorous because we had Steve Havey wearing it under his shirt to demo it, just to show, hey, even men can use it. But
Yeah.
I'll admit, when I first heard about the flashbang many, many, many years ago, I just thought, oh man, I don't know. Of course, there was a little bad press, at the beginning. But it wasn't until Annette Evans did an actual force on force type class, or close quarters class, where she used one of these flashbangs for her pistol, and even had some video of it and her using it. And I was very impressed by how well it worked. And even she said, yeah, this actually worked great. It was so easy for me to get to. And so that really just changed my mind. And then just sort of playing with it, practicing with it, I thought, okay, I definitely see some positives with this. And it's probably not something that I would normally wear, because this probably sticks out further than my chest does. I was not blessed with that. So But I did have some women in this holster class who tried that on and tried on multiple holsters, and they kept going back to the flashbang, and they normally did not carry. And after they found this and used it, practiced with it, they carry. And I'm so glad to hear that. It worked out great for them. They said they weren't able to wear various holsters for various reasons. They easily print, they were short-waisted, whatever it might have been, but that worked out great for them.
Yeah. So what I do, if I have it show up in class, and that's the lady's only option, if she's right-handed, she goes on the far left. She goes on the far left of the line. If she's left-handed, she goes on the far right of the line. And, as well as I do, if we have multiple, 6 ladies in a class, we're not going to typically put all 6 of them on the line, if they have various different ways of concealing their gun. So, but I've actually had really good success with it. It's, I could use it. It's just not one that I use very often, but I've got 4 of them in my concealment box to fit the 4 most popular firearms, because a woman needs to know that she has options. It's not just cut and dry. It's not one way. As long as you practice, as long as you're safe, you can be armed responsibly.
Yeah. We need to definitely keep our, we need to be open to various options, and because everybody, especially women's bodies, are so different. Just our clothing we have so many different ways that we dress, whether we wear a skirt, dress, pants, leggings, which, let me show some leggings. This is just one of many colors. These are Bakandi leggings.
I have the exact same ones.
I have about 4 pairs of these.
Yeah.
They have belt loops.
Yep.
In them.
Yep.
So I have a lot of ladies that they, well, I wear leggings all day long. That's all I wear. I'll say, well, do you mind wearing a belt with it? And then that way you can just put your regular holster, on your belt if you're AIWB. So basically I use the next belt for it, and it works out great. They have wonderful pockets, carry an extra mag, flashlight, pepper spray, whatever. So Bakandi apparel. They have all different colors. They have shorts, capris, full length. But what's really nice about their shorts is I know women that wear them under their dresses or their skirts. So they actually, okay, if I have to lift my skirt up to draw, it's no big deal. I'm wearing a pair of little shorts underneath and have my belt on and my holster, and it works out great.
Yeah. There's always a joke we can add in there, but we won't.
Yeah.
One of there's a brand that I don't know if y'all have heard of, Alexo Athletica. She came out with a range wear legging, and I'm weird in the fact that, like, the Zendera bag, and I think I have like 3 Gun Totin' Mamas bags. When I find something and I love it, we've fallen into, okay, they're not making it anymore, or they'll try to improve it or change it, and then we won't like it. So I actually got like 4 or 5 pair of the Alexo Athletica range leggings. They're thick enough. I can wear them to the gym. I'm never walking around the gym in my just a sports bra. So put a t-shirt over it. I'm carrying 18 rounds in my gun at the gym with these leggings on. They're squat proof. They're plenty of pockets, my phone. If I'm actually on the range in them, they'll hold a fully loaded AR mag, 30 rounds. in either pocket. So it doesn't matter if I'm pulling right or pulling left. I can put my heavy duty Safariland belt around it if I need to, or I can use just my regular Mastermind, or I have Brian Eastridge belts that he did. So I have those, and they all work great. And I get to be in my leggings 24/7 and appendix carry. So
Yeah.
works out good.
Yeah. And I have one of Brian's belts as well. And I really do like his belt. It's just whatever you're used to or prefer. So my go-to is the next belt with the ratcheting system. And something that I do show the ladies during the holster class, and hopefully this isn't too TMI, but let me just get my fake glue gun.
I really see the guys saying, hey, to their wives and daughters, why don't y'all watch this? I'm not sure how in-depth the men are going to watch this, so I'm not sure if it's TMI. So you just do you, boo.
Okay. So, every time we go to the restroom, we have to pull our pants down. And I don't think guys fully appreciate or understand that. A lot of them don't, because they're at the range, it's a porta-john or whatever, or there's a great tree, they don't have to take all their gear off. Right. They don't have to lower their pants. So we got to do this probably 5 to 10 times a day. And so what I show the ladies is with the next belt, and hopefully y'all can see this. Let me see if I can position my.
Yeah, come down just a little bit more. That looks good.
Is that good?
Yeah.
Okay. So I tell them they can pull this ratchet, and for the next belt, they just give you this huge long belt and you just custom cut it to your size. So when I cut it, I leave an extra 6 to 8 inches on it. So I can do this. You can hear it ratcheting. Yeah. And I have this extra right here. So now, let me go to the side. You see all that extra? I can actually take my pants down to go to the restroom without taking any of my holsters off, nothing. Everything stays right on my belt. And then when I'm done, pull my up, re-ratchet, and it works great. Because nothing's more frustrating than when you have, a 5-minute bathroom break and it takes you 10 minutes to take everything off, do your business and then put everything back on. So anyway.
And then you always have the option of, if you set it down and then it falls, the person in the stall next to you is going to probably come unwound. And that's where the Enigma, the Enigma comes in handy, because you never have to take it off.
I got that one too. So let me.
I've just been in the habit, I will kind of like tilt the gun in the holster, still attach my belt like into my underwear. So it's like hammocked in there. I have cried too many times trying to get my holster like onto my belt that I refuse to take it off until I'm taking it off for the day.
Yes, agreed. Does yours have the little J clip on the inside of it?
Yeah. I mean, great. We don't want it to come off, but it's so frustrating to put a holster on sometimes.
I feel your pain.
So since we were speaking about the Enigma, here's an Enigma. And it can be really daunting at first, just getting everything fit just right. But the nice and getting it put together, but now you can actually order them pre-assembled, which is great. This one has like a little fabric, little custom cover on it to make it more comfortable.
Don't they call that the papoose?
I forgot what they call it.
I think it's called the papoose. Yeah.
Papoose. Okay. But anyway, so it's a little more comfy up against your skin. But Philster has excellent options. They're the ones that came up with the Enigma. But they make all sorts of different holsters. And what I really, really love about Filster is they honestly try to help their customers. They have a wonderful group on Facebook where people share videos and photos of, they might have an issue with something. So they post what their issue is, and they'll have dozens and dozens of people comment to try to help. Or somebody has a great pro tip and they share it with everyone. But I will say it's a great group. Everyone is extremely helpful. So I would definitely, check out Filster's group on Facebook as well as their website. So that's another one I need to put on here for Lee to add, is for Filster.
Yeah. Actually found on my particular one, I'm able to get a double mag holder. It comes with one, but the one that I have, I think it's Blade Tech. I like to wear my Nike shorts and my running shorts in the summertime. And so, man, the Enigma just changed my life. It literally changed my life. And so I thought, I wonder if I took this to a match, because I'm going to have extra magazines on my belt and just show up in a pair of Nike shorts like every day. That's how I'm going to have to fight for my life, is when I'm in my, my t-shirt and a pair of Nike shorts. And so, man, the Enigma disappears. It literally disappears. It's fantastic.
Yeah. I know a lot of people that have showed up in high level classes wearing the Enigma. And no issues drawing. I want to say at the Rangemaster TacCon ladies shoot off, I know there was at least one, maybe two, that were wearing the Enigma.
Yeah.
And you can't see it.
Yep. The only thing that that I talk to my students about when they wear it with something like Nike shorts is you make sure and do something with your strings that tie the shorts tighter. So we don't want the strings to get caught up in the trigger on the reholster. So I always take mine and make sure the shorts will still stay up, and then I tie it in a knot, cut the strings off.
Yeah, so no, that's a great point. Let me see what else I have on my den floor.
Are you getting ready for a class? Is that why they're all out?
No, I had no idea really everything that Lee wanted us to talk about. So I just figured I'll just dump this bag of stuff all over my floor just in case.
But we're girls. We don't have any. It's not hard for us to find the good stuff.
Something, the Eukoala bag.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
If that's your style, man, the girls wear the heck out of those down here.
Yeah. And for me, it's not really my style
either.
But it's a great bag.
Yeah.
I mean, there's just so much that you can do with it. But yeah, I could definitely see in Texas this being, with the boots and everything else.
They love it.
Yeah, no, but it's a great bag, the koala bag. So with the crossbreed,
there it is, the
modular system. So I went and also bought these pieces for that can be used to stage a holster, like shoved into your mattress for at night. Anyway, interesting options. But the actual belly band that they have, this one still has the mag pouch on it. And this was the holster. And if you notice, I always like to put, what this is for. So this is for my
Right.
Glock 19.
Yeah.
I might put my initials on it, but I have so many holsters that I do take a silver, paint pen and write what it's for, which gun.
Yeah, saves us time.
Yeah, it really easily can get,
Overwhelming.
yeah, because if you've been shooting for, just a few years, you're going to have a basket full of holsters that you don't use anymore, you don't like. But that's why I started this holster class for women,
Yes.
so they could try on all these different holsters to see what works for them, what doesn't, but also to see what is not a good holster.
Yes.
Is your gun secure? Is it safe? Is the trigger guard fully covered? Is it comfortable? So there's,
we can easily spend between $300 and $500 on stuff that's no good, that's literally not good. And if you attend a quality holster class for ladies, your instructor should have multiple of these set up so that you can attempt to, we typically have blue guns for all of them so that you don't have the possibility of an accident happening while you're going through all these different ones. And that gives you the ability to go, okay, I really like this bag. And you go home and you spend your money on that bag, and that still leaves you money to go and take a class or a lesson with it so that you can have someone walk you through the steps of, anchor the bag, get a good firing grip. When you pull it, are you muzzling any part of your body? And so if you attend the class and buy your bag, that's money better spent than just buying all of these different options and then you potentially coming up with something that gets you hurt.
yeah. And not to mention, safety is number one. And then number two is, in the long run, it's going to save you money.
Yes.
You might spend $150 on taking that class, but you know what? It might save you several $100s.
Yep.
In finding that holster that's right for you, as well as prevent you from getting something that's just a piece of crap, because there is a lot of that out there. And
yeah, we have quite a few in the holster bucket that go what I call on the no table. This is the absolute, and they'll walk up and before I say anything, I have two tables set up. And I don't say anything. I just let them, touch. Women like to touch it, feel it, try it on, put it this and that, and they'll say, oh, I have that. Oh, I have that. Oh, I have that. And then I go through those and I'm like, this is why you can't have this. This is why you're not going to get a blessing with this particular holster. No, there's no matter how much you practice with that, is it ever going to be safe? Ever. And there's a lot of that out there. A lot.
Yeah, there is, unfortunately. And for new shooters or, people just getting introduced to firearms, they don't know.
Right.
And a lot of times they go to their local range and they buy products, and, the person showing them, what to get, often I see that, that they're not getting good information.
Yeah. Some of
So,
those in the no bucket are from my beginnings.
yep. A lot of
Like,
mine are.
I had this, and here's why I don't have it anymore.
Yeah.
Here's why it never, it's on the no table. So
Exactly. Allison, anything you want to add?
I am not the gear person in our family, so I just kind of use whatever holsters my husband passes along and says that might be good. I think with the exception of the flashbang, which he can't use, but in spending quite a bit of time with it, I'm a huge fan. I mean, he's tried.
Yeah. I'm the one who, wears the firearm in the family. So, yeah, I'm the ultimate protector of myself and my family. So,
You're not the
but
only one. I have so many ladies down here in Texas that are like, my
yeah,
husband, no, he just has no desire to. And there's no judgment, but my husband is the reason I am carrying, is because he would leave and go on deployments, and at gentle prodding, babe, you really need to go get your license to carry. You're the only one protecting the girls and yourself when I leave, and
hmm
we have a lot of ladies here that are the ultimate protector. They're
yeah,
the only one carrying.
yeah, yeah. So I think I showed most of my show and tell stuff of what I threw on my den floor. Um, any other products either one of you wanted to mention?
Mm, I really like. I think we hit your top for carrying while pregnant. I think you hit your top three with like I said, on Crossbreed, they now have that particular bag with the holster for under $100. This one, the Zendera bag comes in at about $250. Your gun toting mamas come in at, I know she's got some that'll go as, her ostrich one is 400, but she has plenty of them that are, in the $100 range. And we
Oh yeah.
shouldn't balk at that, at that price tag, because again, her zipper quality, her steel reinforced straps, and then the ability to position them, right here so that they're comfortable. You could potentially have a baby on your hip and a baby in the womb and be comfortable with a firearm with you, because those babies are, they're relying on you.
hmm Yeah, and just to give a shout out to Gun Toting Mamas, they
Mm-hmm.
so often have great sales
Yes.
and promotions, as well as Crossbreed does too. So they're out there. And if you're a member, I believe, of Armed Women of America, AWA, and A Girl and a Gun, I know that they have different coupon codes and whatnot that you can apply towards so many of these products.
Yeah.
So they're definitely out there to make them affordable. But also the other thing I was going to mention was in Vicki Farnham's class and her off-body carry instructor, I think now it might be called flex carry instructor class, but Vicki shows up with probably 30, 40, 50 bags and all different shapes and sizes, from backpacks, fanny packs, to what we call the baby bag,
Yeah.
to just small clutches. Some are crossbody, some are just one over the shoulder, but you can try out the different ones and see, oh, no, I'm not sure I really like this way of carrying, or this one's too big, or this one's too small, or whatever. But you can also bring a blue gun and try them out in the various purses to see, you know, can I draw my pistol from this purse without it getting snagged? Is the zipper opening big enough?
Yeah.
So you get that opportunity in her class. So it was great in that I was able to bring the P365, the 365 XL, and the Glock 19, all blue guns, and try them out, because some of them I thought that would fit. Oh, and when you put an optic on your gun, also, you want to make sure,
Yeah.
is the optic going to get snagged? Is that zipper opening big enough? So
Yeah.
just,
That's one of the things, truthfully, because this opens so big. I mean, so big back here. And like I said, this will go up in there when the slides forward. But my optic, it doesn't get caught. And I absolutely thought, because the purse came before the optic did, and I thought that was going to be the end of my days with that bag, and I loved it so much. But it doesn't. That's one thing we have to think of, is if we are going to be optic carriers, is that optic going to get snagged on anything that we put it in, including an appendix inside the waistband, adjusting our
Yeah.
draw for that as well.
Yeah, and that was something too that that I covered in another class, as far as, women carrying, we might wear long necklaces, we might wear dangly bracelets, all these things that can get caught up on your gun, on your holster, on your magazine, whatever. So I always suggest to my ladies, if you're going out that evening and you're carrying in that particular outfit with that particular necklace, bracelet, whatever, do some dry runs with it.
Yes.
Because you want to make sure, A, is your holster attached properly? Maybe it's not all the way over on your belt. Maybe that necklace is hanging down a little too far, and when you go to draw, your gun gets snagged on it. So you always want to do a little dry run before you leave the house in whatever carry setup that you're using.
Well, and that, as well as, making sure your gear works, it puts you in the proper mindset too of, hey, I might have to use this gun tonight.
Yep.
We should never be taken by surprise like Tom. We should expect it. So,
yeah.
What I was going to say, the last Wednesday, I had a private lesson with a student, and I'm very blessed in my area. We have private suites. I know a lot of your local ranges, you can't just draw from anything out there on the range.
Mm-hmm.
And I stand behind that 1,000,000%. So we have private suites with 3-foot cinder block walls on each side of us. So I was working with a lady, and time again, she had a crossbody, and that strap comes under her and right in the way of where she needed to draw. So time and time again, she went behind the strap, and when she drew, her gun and hand got caught in the strap every time. So I was like, you have to go over, and we had to work on that a lot, more than what you would think. I would say 25 presentations before she quit trying to go behind it, because we have to practice it the right way and the same way every time, so that it'll work. If that's your carry bag, you know how she was carrying it, it had to be a certain way, or else it just absolutely was not going to work. So like you say, with a necklace, with a certain vest, a blazer, all of these things can come into, we need to take into consideration, or we may fumble and drop the gun. We don't want to do that.
Exactly. Yeah, we don't want to. The other thing I was going to suggest is, when you're doing your dry practice, is video yourself.
Oh yeah.
Because sometimes you may not realize that you're muzzling yourself.
Yep.
So definitely videotape yourself, or have somebody watch you. I have so many videos of myself dry firing. It's kind of ridiculous.
No, it's not.
I'm going through delete. But yeah, it's so helpful, because you will have no idea that, oh gosh,
Look at that. Look what I just
my
did.
muzzle just covered my foot, my leg, whatever. So yeah, it's just helpful. Yeah.
Tell any of my students, send it to me, and then be ready.
Yeah. A red marker.
Send it to me. Yes. See that? See this? See this?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, let's wrap things up. And is there anything else y'all would like to add? Allison, on that 4th trimester, any sort of things that stand out, or pro tips?
Yeah, I think, like during pregnancy, you are accounting for your body changing when you're considering your carry setup and all of that. I think once your baby is born is when your approach to things really starts to change. If if you're a breastfeeding mom who also concealed carries, you need to be aware of what shirts you're going to wear, or having a cover on you so that you're not exposing your gun as you're pulling your shirt up. Button down shirts are really good for that because you can button down the top buttons, feed your baby, and then you're not exposing your waistband. And then you can carry appendix again. That way, there's also a lot of nursing covers that you can get from Amazon. So you do need to pull your shirt up completely. You can still cover so people can't see, your waistband during that. And then baby wearing is something big, or it's coming to be pretty popular again. And there's a lot of different options that you can do with like baby wearing. So you have 2 free hands when you're out in public to be able to, clear concealment, draw the gun and get 2 hands on it as well. Melody Lauer from Citizens Defense Research has some not YouTube videos. They're videos on her Facebook kind of introducing how you might do that. I plan on writing an article in the coming months of some options, but any kind of baby wearing carrier or sling or wrap that doesn't put a band or a strap along your waistband would be a good option, as well as carrying in like a fanny pack or a purse still.
Okay. Good point. And maybe you can, send us some links to some various websites for some of the apparel that you were talking about.
Mm-hmm.
Great. Thank you.
Yeah, that would be good to put in, various, because you have from the very young college student down here where if you're 21, you can campus carry, to mothers, to, my mature ladies. I would love to have your input on a good, because when you talk about baby carrying, every single one of my young moms I see them on Facebook with carrying their babies in a carrier in the front. So yeah, that would be great to have a good recommendation for them.
Yeah, I can pass some links along. The way that I've predominantly been baby wearing, especially when I go out, has been in a ring sling. Just because my baby is small still, so she's very high up off of my waistband, and it's easy to like pull my shirt up and her legs are out of the way. Her arms are up high by me. So ring slings are what I recommend right now, but there are so many options available, and I am only starting to dip my toes into what some of those other carrier and wrap styles are, but ring slings have been my go-to the past few months.
Great. Good to know.
I love
Thank
it.
you.
I love it. I love it that you have such a small little one and you don't, I always tell my ladies, don't let your why you're carrying be your excuse not to carry. Does that make sense? Don't let your why, I need to train, I need to protect my baby, she's depending on me. Don't let her be your excuse not to train. Don't let your why be your excuse. And so I'm very proud of you, Alice. Allie.
Yeah, me too.
Thank you. Just saying that, I'm like, oh my gosh, like I have to do better. It is challenging to, coordinate childcare to be able to go to the range and, make sure she's got breast milk when I go, and, just all the fun stuff that comes with postpartum. My clothes not fitting quite right anymore. So there's definitely challenges that come with concealed carrying and training postpartum. Even though you can go do live fire now, but it is more important now than ever, because I've got my baby that I need to get home to, and I want her to come home with me. So,
and she needs her mama.
Yes.
Yeah, that's so important. Well, good. Mindy K. Ray, any courses, classes, anything coming up that you want to tell us about?
Um, just so I do a core beginner handgun class at the beginning of every month. It's a staple. And then on January 25th, I believe is a Saturday, I will do a split carry class. In the morning will be holsters for on body focus, and in the afternoon will be flex carry for any other. So I have,
Awesome.
again, I have a wide range of, you may be carrying in a backpack because you're allowed to campus carry here, or you may be, I would love to incorporate slings. We can put a doll in that sling, so we have that age group. And then of course I have my mature ladies that are about 50-50 split between put it in a holster or put it in a bag. And so I have lots of ladies that stay for both. So they'll do on body focus in the morning, and then we'll break for lunch and do an off body focus or a flex carry in the afternoon. And it turns out to be just a fantastic day of learning, so that's coming up 25th of January.
Okay, excellent. Maybe you can also send a link to Lee as far as, how people can find you and register and all that great stuff.
And then our 10-year anniversary is coming up this January for AWA chapter. I know it's like 10 years.
Awesome.
Yeah. And I think it's worth shouting out that, your AWA ladies are there 100% on volunteer only. So 10 years,
Yeah, no, good work. That's
Yeah.
excellent.
It's
not easy.
I have a great crew that helps just out of the goodness of their heart. So they may not be even on the leadership. They pay their dues every single year, and yet they're in a serving capacity versus a go and learn capacity. And so I'm very blessed with a great leadership team.
No, that's awesome. And if any of the women out there that are listening, if they're looking for a local chapter with Armed Women of America, probably if you just do a search for Armed Women of America, and you can go right to their website, and you can actually plug in where you're at, in the US, and find a chapter that's near you. Yeah, same with A Girl and a Gun. But yeah, I think with AWA, both are wonderful organizations. I'm also a co-leader with AWA, and yeah, we concentrate more on everyday carry, defensive type shooting skills, and yeah, two great organizations out there. So, and more, but yeah, Allison. So where will your article be posted?
You can find me on primerpeak.com. I don't currently have anything in the lineup. I just need to find time to write out all my thoughts. I've got notes and a draft on my phone, but nothing on the schedule yet. But for some more in-depth on carrying during each trimester, and then also postpartum, those articles are already out there.
Right. Yeah, and I read them. They were wonderful. So excellent information out there. So especially women that are looking to carry, and they are pregnant, or maybe they are going to be pregnant, or they've already delivered, have little ones. Great information. As for me, I have a class. Actually, it's a private concealed carry part 2 class that I'll be doing January 4th, and then another basic co-ed class that I'll be doing on let me see, January the 12th, and then after that, who knows what I'll be doing. Life is always interesting. So, all right. Thank you, everybody, for your time and for being here. And
So, real quick question: will I see you at TACCON this year?
yes,
Okay, so
I
we're
will
gonna.
be there. I'll
Okay.
be yeah, I'll be a RSO this year.
Oh,
And yeah, so I'm really looking forward to that. That'll be fun. Also a great learning opportunity. But yeah, so I will be there. This will be my 6th TACCON.
wow. Okay.
So yeah, yeah.
Okay.
So
So let's
always
4 months.
excellent learning opportunity. So 2025, just so folks know, it is full. It literally fills up within hours after registration's been posted. And they typically will post registration for what, like maybe a week or so after TACCON's over.
Yeah.
And so 2026 registration for TACCON will probably happen, what I'm guessing, sometime in April of 2025.
Yeah.
So if y'all want to get on board with that,
Put
you
a
got
little
to.
reminder on my phone to start looking for it, and yeah, because I can't imagine not being. I mean, I walked. I'm shotgun all day long, and I walked off a shotgun match to register. So I'm like, I'll be back in a minute, boys.
Yeah, hold that.
Yep. So that's serious. When it opens, it opens. You got to go.
Yeah, yeah. So I'm definitely looking forward to that. And yeah, I probably won't be taking as many training classes this year because my daughter is getting married. Yeah, August of 2025. So I'm on a very tight budget.
Yes.
So yeah, so I won't be doing my 250 hours of taking training classes for this coming year.
Well,
Anyway,
same way here, but mine's 4. I have to make sure, and I got to get healthy. So
yes,
yeah.
yes,
So
yeah,
that first, and then everything else second.
yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Take care of our
Thank
health.
you for hosting us.
Oh, you're welcome. You're welcome, Lee.
You did a great job, Shannon.
You did.
Thank you. I tried.
Fantastic.
Well, Merry Christmas.
Yeah,
Happy
Merry,
New Year. Happy holidays. Happy Hanukkah.
whatever you
Um,
say, happy to it.
happy, 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 joy, joy. All right. Y'all have a good night.
You too.
And thanks for being here.
You bet. Good night.
Good night.